Yo, wagwan everyone, Sancho Chia here. So apparently it's New Form Fridays, recording this on Friday nights. So this should be going up on Saturday morning, should. But yo, welcome to my review for Black Clover Manga chapter 272, which honestly was like it's just funny, like after the madness of Boruto manga chapter 52, Asta is finally getting his new form. New form as well. I just found it funny. But anyway, guys, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Of course, hit that subscribe button and I appreciate it on this journey to a million subs. A million subs. But yo, chapter 272 of Black Clover, of course, was another one for the history books. And what can I say? I really liked it. It was cliche, I would say, in the sense that I kind of, like midway through the chapter, I was kind of predicting that what was going to happen by the end of it. And it did happen in terms of being pushed to the limit by Nacht. Asta and Liebe have seemingly managed to fully combine and produce a new Black Asta form. Of course, we don't see what it actually looks like, but just the eye, which seemingly reminds me of Six Path Sage Mode with Kurama involved. But yeah, but the point is, it was a solid chapter, I felt. I was happy to see, or at least we start off the chapter with Yuno, who has been training to actually find a way to beat Zennon, who he actually says that, yo, he has found a way to beat Zennon, and he seems to be trained without the use of bells. So that's going to be interesting to get more context and more specifics in terms of what Yuno could be doing to beat Zennon, even though I still think it might be too soon for that. Even like it's just been what, 2 days based on what Nox says in the near the end of this chapter. Of course, Longris is reintroduced to the series and he's offering to actually help Yuno. I think that's actually progression in his character, and it's kind of hinted at by Tabata in this chapter that yeah, their characters have, I wouldn't say come a long way, but since actually coming to the Golden Dawn, there has been some progression in terms of what these characters will be willing to do to go forward in the narrative. So I actually like that as well. Now, when it comes on to Asta and Liebe versus Nacht, apparently he hasn't had the best luck in actually taking down Nacht. And we are introduced, where at least we get a lot of comedy in this portion of the chapter, which I really thought was refreshing and pretty in line with what Asta's character is, as well as, you know, developing and, you know, paving out what the dynamic between Asta and Liebe, the stepbrothers for lack of a better term, is going to be for the rest of the series, or at least going forward. Now, what I like about this chapter, even though the transformation by the end was kind of expected for the most part by me, like 7 to 12 chapters in, 12 pages in, give or take. As I said, when it comes down to situations like these where, you know, Black Clover pulls a lot of these cliche stuff, at least cliche doesn't have to be bad. And of course, again, as I said during my Boruto live stream, which I eventually added Black Clover and and Dragon Ball to the stream, is that the push forward for Asta and Liebe to actually unite here at the end of the chapter still falls in line with the established rules of how mages actually grow in this series. So of course, time and time again, for a lot of these Black Clover reviews, I'll definitely be referring to that one mission in Saucy Village where the narrator explained, you know, how mages grow. So it makes sense. And being pushed to, you know, death's door by Nacht, I still think even at this point doing the review was part of his plan to say, yo, it's either now or never, but maybe not what's gonna kill him for real. So there's that. Of course, we're also introduced to just, I think, about 2 panels of some flashbacks with Nacht, which I think is appreciated, but I still think we need some more context regarding that to fully appreciate where Nacht is coming from and how, you know, interacting with Asta is bringing up these memories. So there's that, but it's still a starting point and appreciated all the same. The comedy section with with Liebe and Asta show that was still killer. It was still ridiculously funny, if I'm being honest. But that aside, of course, I did like the scenes where Asta and Liebe are questioning, like, why can't they actually form the Devil Union, and, you know, the fact that they're at death's door, and if they don't really surpass their limits right now, then in Asta's case, he can't save Captain Yami, and in Liebe's case, he can't avenge Lucita. So it's at that point where they're pushed to the breaking point, they actually seemingly get this new form, which we are hopefully will be seeing next week. Hopefully, if Tabata doesn't decide to like tease us and transition back to Yuno. So there's that. Or who knows, maybe whatever Yuno has, come upon in terms of how he's gonna beat Zennon, probably Tabata might decide to focus next chapter on Yuno, and probably by the end of the chapter, near like 3/4 way, he'll transition back to Asta and he'll showcase both Asta and Yuno's new technique slash forms, which of course that could be the expected approach, because it's always the Asta Yuno, I get this, you get that, you get this, like that Naruto Sasuke kind of dynamic, you know what I mean? So that's gonna be appreciated. But for the most part, it was a simple yet straightforward and effective chapter. I feel cliche and predictable, but I don't think in a bad way, because it still falls in line with the established rules that Tabata himself set up for the series. But I think the payoff for me personally regarding the chapter will come from seeing what is probably the drawbacks, are how this new form is going to work. Probably, I still think there should be some struggles here and there. So it depends on that. I think it's going to determine if it's going to be a bad thing that this chapter was kind of predictable in that sense or not. But all in all, I thought it was still solid. But anyway, let me know what you thought about Black Clover Manga chapter 272, guys. Of course, leave your comments, comment, subscribe, all that cliche YouTube stuff, which probably is a good thing, even though it's cliche as well. But Sanju Uchiha, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and look forward to the Yashahime Princess. What episode are we at? 7? Later today, reaction review. You don't know, it's 6. See you guys in the next video.